Teammates, we are back once again. If this is your first time listening to the Move Swiftly podcast, welcome to the show. Welcome to the number one show on innovative teamwork. It's been like that for months. It's going to continuously be like that because we put out the content every single day. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. To my regular listeners, you already know how it gets down, man, right into the point. And you already know I've told you this time and time again, and I will continue to tell you this. I am Mr. ABC. Always be connecting. I'll say it again. Always be connecting, because the guests I have on today, this is how life works, and this is why it's so important for you to continuously put your stuff out there. Make sure you're utilizing the tools that we have in the internet to put your information out online, put your personality out online. I shouldn't say information, but you should put your personality out online, so when people meet you in person, it's like they already know you. That's how you get ahead in this business, because as I go to the gym every single morning. I'm a regular at this gym named Planet Fitness. I was having a conversation with a complete stranger. I was telling him about my podcast, and the first person that he thinks of, like literally Alex, the first person that he thinks of is like, "Oh man, you got to connect with the trainer. His name is Alex Diego."
Dang.
And there you go. He's on the podcast, and this is how it works, guys. Sometimes I don't plan on who I'm gonna have as a guest. It's just a matter of living my life regularly. So I happen to see Alex in the locker room. He's telling me about some of the content he puts out. There was some great synergy, and here he is on the podcast. So, Alex, welcome to the Move Swiftly podcast. How are you this morning or afternoonish
Blessings,
morning?
man. Nah, you good, man. I appreciate you having me on the podcast, man. This is cool. Like I'm on a podcast with you. Like it's crazy how like the whole interaction, how everything just formed to this moment. So I'm grateful and I'm honored to be on here.
That's what I'm saying. Organic, man. I gotta be organic in this world because of the amount of information we can consume. So if you're
Hmm.
not being authentic, again, people will sniff that out of you, and they'll move on to the next video, they'll move on to the next podcast, or move on to whatever it is they're doing. So with that, I want to give you the microphone for a second, and because again, we actually just had this
Right.
conversation before I started recording. I don't know
Uh-huh.
if you go by Alex Diego. I don't know if you go by your name on YouTube. What's kind of your background like in terms of how you got into this space where you have put some incredible information out in the internet. Something I really want to get into because you really are kind of debunking the myth that us as black men deal with in terms of we always
Mhm.
got to be some baby mama drama, fatherless
Yeah.
stuff. You do so much in terms of what you put out there. So how do you kind of introduce yourself to people and in the interacting stuff?
So I go by Nonito. Everybody on social media uh, calls me Nonito. My government name is Alex Diego. I really don't care. It's just a title. I just go by energy. And what was the other question you asked? I apologize.
Well, you're going. I just wanted to kind of get an idea of your background and
Oh,
where you
okay.
where you're from, where you went to school, and all that kind of stuff.
All right, cool, cool. So, my background is Honduran. So my mom and pops, my whole family is from Honduras. Born and raised in West Palm Beach, from Lake Park. Uh, I've been my journey has been incredible. I can say
Hmm.
my upbringing has been in a loving environment.
Right,
Um, yeah, man, I'm just different. Like I just do things my way, and I always been that type of kid, but I just been afraid to like embrace my authenticity. So now I'm in this space to just be my authentic self and just be organic, like you said. And yeah, man, my
right.
upbringing has been cool. Like I
Hmm.
grew up in a Hispanic household, so a lot of people look at me as black. I am black, but
Right,
really like my upbringing has just been the Latino community, like the Hispanic culture. Like I grew up learning Spanish or English. It took me a while to learn English. It took me a very long time to learn English. So,
hmm.
um, yeah, man, like I just love like the gifts that I have, like just being
Yes.
in the Hispanic community, like and just represent the Black culture. Of course, like I'm always gonna represent my peoples. But yeah,
Right.
man,
So
that's
one of the things that you just said that really kind of resonates with me is you said that there was a point in which you were afraid to embrace your authenticity. And
mhm.
I 100% agree. I'm 100% with you when it comes to that. Like what examples can you provide when you say you were afraid to express it? Because for me personally, I know I went to a high school that was predominantly Caucasian. I went to a high school. I went from public school, which was predominantly Black and Latino, and then I was recruited to go to a Catholic school, and I didn't really know much about it. And it was
Mhm,
that transition when I was younger. I must have been, what, 13, 14 years old, freshman in high school, where you're kind of afraid to embrace your blackness. You're afraid to say certain things. When certain things get said to you, you're
mhm.
afraid of how they're going to react because you don't know. So when you say you were afraid to like bring in your authenticity, can you provide some examples? Because I know that'll resonate a lot with the listeners.
Yeah, man, that is one of the hardest things that I overcome, and I'm so grateful that I can be able just to be myself. But part of it for me, from my experience, I would say like just being in my head too much,
Right.
not understanding how like with my mindset, like I love criticism because criticism helped me evolve. Like I received so much negative criticism, so it took me a while to turn that negative to positive.
Hmm. When
Um,
you say negative criticism, is it like from sports or like just social life or?
Social life, yeah,
Mhm.
social life. Like there'll be people who be like, hey, like you're not Honduran, or you're a fake
Wow.
Spanish,
Wow.
or there'll be people who like, yeah, you're just trying to be something that you're
Right.
not. It's a lot of
And
negative
that's
criticism I
what's
grew up.
crazy to me though. Like, I mean, can we? And I hate to cut you off there, but this is what happens.
No,
So
you're
when
good.
people start hitting these points, can we get to a point where we stop looking at people on their skin color, where we
Yeah.
realize where it's only skin deep, and because I'm a teacher, I teach, all right, and I'm around these
Mm-hmm.
kids every day, and I know how they talk to each other. When you
Mm-hmm.
just start seeing somebody of their skin color and you start making judgments of them, you don't realize how much that actually affects a person's heart, how it affects a person's psyche, how you're actually keeping us down by simply judging someone because of what you see on the outside. Again, understand, life is about what's burning up on the inside. All right, so stop doing that to people. Stop doing that to kids, and it goes on over and over and over again, man.
That's so true, man. Like, and it's crazy because I look at the past and like those
Mhm.
moments really helped me to be the person I
Right.
am today because that was just nothing but like negative energy, like consistently just repetition back to back to back to back. And then I got to a point like just receiving all the negative energies just really helped me. It just really helped my mental health, like really helped me mentally just to be so positive in life. And it's plus of
Yeah.
everything in the past experience as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's just
Oh, good.
no, another thing I want to mention too is
Yeah.
like it's just like them thoughts in your head. Like we be having like a lot of thoughts in our head. Like we are afraid to like receive judgment, and like I just grew out of that.
Hmm.
So that really helped me as well. Like not really caring about what people say about me, not
Hmm.
really caring about how people look the way view me. So it just really like it just took me a long time, but I could say the best thing that worked for me was just really just sitting down and just taking the time just to face my thoughts and face my
Hmm.
demons.
And that also makes me think of another point too, because if you are a regular listener, I know that you've dealt with rejection. One of the pillars to my business is actually dealing with rejection, and one of the things that I like to tell people, express to people when they're tired of it, is understand it's teaching you about human nature.
Hmm.
Everything that you just said was like, at some point you just got to embrace it, relax, take it all in, and you recognize what positive and negative energy is. See, a lot of people who've been
Big time.
accepted their whole life, who been loved, have gotten all the girls, grades, whatever it is you're accepted socially. You don't necessarily feel when something ain't authentic. You don't necessarily feel, you don't know because you've been accepted your whole life because it's based on looks, right? You've been in your bubble your whole life and you haven't had to deal with the rejection. So by the time you start to face the real world and face adulting and all that kind of stuff, it's like, I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to deal with that part of it. So if you are a young person listening and you're dealing with rejection, it will make sense at some point. I know it may not seem like a lot, but right now it will make sense. And with that, I want to get into your journey of how we met and how we interact. Is how'd you get into fitness? Because like me, I'm still very much into fitness, but I was a trainer as well at a boxing gym, so I know the fitness industry very well. So what made fitness kind of your lane to shine your light on the world?
Man, fitness has really helped me just take my life to a whole nother level.
Right.
To take you back, I believe 2018 was my the beginnings. Like that's when I really started my fitness journey.
Were you in
When
school for like training or just got into it?
I just received my certificate like not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
So I just always been like the type of person just to like work out. Like I grew into it. Like I fell in
Yeah.
love with like the whole anatomy, the whole like the whole mental, like the psychology. Like I just love like just the whole fitness thing. So
Right, right.
what really got me into fitness is like I had like a lot of health scares. I used to go be in and out the hospital. I used to
Oh my
experience
goodness.
a lot of traumatic experiences just because of my lifestyle, poor lifestyle.
Hmm.
Um, and I just looked at myself in the mirror one day and I was like, you know what? Like I'm done. Like I want to make a change. And that's really powerful thing that I did. And I'll never forget that moment. I just looked at myself in the moment, I mean the mirror, and I took off my shirt and I was just so disgusted. I was so disappointed in myself.
Wow.
And
That's crazy.
at that moment, I was like, all right, it's time to like flip the switch. And then after that, man, I just never looked back.
Oh man, that's a lot. That's a lot. And you know what I love about that too, and this is big, this is huge for you listeners as well, is there wasn't a see a lot of people get into fitness, and this is something I know they start working out because they're trying to look good for somebody else. But
Yeah.
when you get to a point, and I'm sure you dealt with it too. You get clients, I want my husband to look at me better. I want this, all
Hmm.
that stuff. Again, I'm not saying you're necessarily wrong for wanting to get in shape for somebody else, but if you really want to go the distance and really start looking at and looking good, it's got to be because you want to change. It's got to be because of everything he just laid out in terms of, again, I had a lot of health scares. I wasn't living the best lifestyle. I mean, for you regular listeners, I just finished a whole year of sobriety. And from a Caribbean, I'm from my family Trinidad background and all that, a whole year of
Hmm.
sober was a lot, from my world. So
Power
but
to
it
you, my
was an
brother.
in yeah, it was an internal drive. And when you start to look within, like a lot like we talked about when it comes to the rejection, you will see the results. Now with people, you don't know how people are going to react. Again, you don't know how your husband is going to react. You don't know how your wife or a friend, some girl you're trying to impress or whatever, you don't know how they're going to react when you start getting in shape, but you're going to be proud of yourself. And that
Yeah,
should be the main motivation. Understand that. All right, it has to be burning on the inside.
big time, man.
So I
Um,
do. Well, go ahead, because I do want to like one of the things I watched. I've been watching your videos all morning, man, and I'm
appreciate you.
trying to I'm a little wired because your story. There's a lot of things you're saying that really hit home with me. But were you gonna say something before I bring this up? I'm gonna bring up the
Nah.
semen retention.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna have to
yeah.
get into the. We're gonna have to get into the semen retention because this is where you talking. If you want to talk discipline.
Y-
Try semen retention, brothers. Is it a full year now?
Uh, 10 months this month. So the 14th will be 10 months that I've been on my senior retention journey. The goal is definitely gonna happen. Like I'm going to accomplish a year.
All right, so let's just break this all down for the listeners. When we're saying semen retention, men, we're not stuttering. The brother has gone 10 months, man, has gone 10 months with holding semen again. And I looked at the
Yeah,
video this morning, bro, and I'm listening to him like, ah. And the thing is, I loved about what you put out there too, is you said, I'm not pushing it on any brother because, again, some brothers will look at you like, yo,
yeah.
I don't know if I can do that, my dog. I don't know if I can do that, my dog. So please just walk us through, how you first of all came up with the idea to do a semen retention and how you were able to last so long. Because again, you said it, you were honest about it. You have some rough days, you have some days where you want to do it, but just the clarity and the control that you feel through that video, it's really good stuff, man. So I'll just let you go ahead and speak on it, my brother.
Much love, man. So you basically just want me to explain like the whole start to finish
Yes, but
about
I
senior
mean the
retention?
start though, like just the idea, because again, I'm thinking for me, I just went sober because I remember it's like 34th birthday. I was on a cruise and
Hmm.
on Bahama Mamas, and I just said, you know what? When I get
Yeah,
35, I'm not trying to depend on alcohol. I'm approaching that age, so
there you go.
I'm just curious about what started it for you.
Honestly, it was a heartbreak. I got out a deep relationship and I just after that. that breakup, I didn't have any self-control. And I was in a point where I started becoming depressed again. I started
Mm-hmm.
becoming having anxiety again. So I started going backwards.
Mm,
And yeah, man, like it was very, very dark times.
mm,
But I got to a point, I was like, I was very like in a less state of mind. Like I wanted like to talk to every girl. I wanted like go
mm,
have sex with every girl that I see. Like I had no
mm,
self-control. So I got to a point like similar to like when I started fitness, I had to like tell myself like,
mm.
man, I got to change for the better. And I just felt like it was just a connection like within like a spiritual connection, like a deep connection from my higher self.
Right.
And like once that after that situation happened, I just
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, I'm just gonna just protect my sexual energy and just see where it takes me. And then like month after month, I just start receiving so many benefits. Like for those who follow me, my Great Ones and Legends, I got to shout out to my community. Like you can look at my past videos, and like
Right.
I did like a 7 day liquid fast, and I was very very small. I was probably like 150, and like now
Oh,
I'm like I bulked up to like 175. This is my current size right now, and that's part of the part of the reason why I bulked up so fast because I gained so much testosterone. I
mm,
re-altered my DNA, so basically like my cells and like
mm,
everything, my organs has is optimizing in a higher frequency, it's optimizing at a higher level. But yeah, man, like it really started from a breakup, man. Like it really just I just had to find like I just had to refine myself and I I do like I said like in my videos I don't push this on anybody. Like
mhm.
I just love sharing my gifts because I know my gifts can change so many lives and that's what I'm
Right.
currently experiencing. Like there's
Right.
a lot of people in my community are getting inspired just by my energy, just
Right.
by the way I am and like they are starting to practice semen retention. It's like crazy because a lot of people look at me and like, yo, like you are like a leader to me and I'm like, damn, like it's crazy because that's not my intention. My intention is just to better myself, like just to become the best
Right.
version of myself day by day. But yeah, senior retention, you will receive a lot of benefits if you really want to build discipline. That is like one of the, in my opinion, the toughest form of discipline is just controlling your sexual energy, desexualizing your mind, and really change your whole mindset to better yourself. So really, like this journey has helped me just better myself. This journey has really just made me the best person I can on a day-to-day basis. Even like I said, like there's bad days. Like I do have my moments when like
Yeah, that was gonna be what I was gonna ask you about because I've dealt with I don't know if it was a bad break. I broke up with my high school sweetheart, and that relationship I was with her for 4 years, and that relationship was really just based on sex. And
hmm
when there was a point where I went over 10 years abstinence. I went over 10 years
Ooh,
abstinent, yeah. And when I sat with that, I couldn't. A lot of your energy, a lot of what you're saying, I was so proud of because I look back and I was like, that girl that I thought I was supposed to be with in high school, she grew up without a father. You know, she grew up without a
hmm
father in the household, and I had to sit with that energy that she was using me to fill that void in her life. You know, she
yeah,
was using every now I tell people all the time, I'm one of the black men out there who had, there's a lot of black men out there that don't have a father in a household. I was the
yeah,
opposite. I had like too many father type guys in my life. My own father who
hmm
was up my ass about everything. Had my coaches, my mother had four brothers, and obviously my football teammates, the older guys, mentoring me, all that kind of stuff. So I had a lot of male influences in my life. So when I sat back and I realized that my ex was with me because of this void, it wasn't because of Aswan. She specifically wanted to be with Aswan. It was because of the void I was feeling in her life. It pained me to know I would keep myself in a situation where I was being used. And I learned I would never, ever, ever put myself in that situation ever again. I'm never going to be somebody's scapegoat. I'm never going to be somebody just so a girl can use me for her personal pleasures. And everything you talking about, everything that you just said, it really lets me know, and I will second your audience and lets me know. Look, this is a leader. This is someone putting it on camera. He's not just talking that shit like on some like just talking it by himself. He's putting it on camera and
yeah,
owning it. I was very for a long time. I was very afraid of actually telling people on camera that I went 10 years without sex. I went 10 years, over 10 years actually, of abstinence. I was shy about saying it. It's because of people like you or people like Devon Franklin that will put it out there like, hey, you get your power back when you're
Hmm.
able to remove the sexual energy from that. And there are women now who really see your heart. They see your feeling and you're able to connect with them on a completely different level. I got news for
Yep.
you guys. Everybody wants sex, right? You're not gonna be one
Yeah.
person that ain't gonna want to, have sex or have an orgasm and all that. But
Right.
if the person that can rise above that has some intelligent conversation, have some enlightening conversation that you can
Hmm.
grow spiritually with and mentally with, that's the person that you need to be working with. Because I got again another breaking news thing. The only thing that's gonna happen with sex is it's gonna end. That's it. It's gonna end the same way every time. I'm not bullshitting you. It's gonna end the same way. So, speak on a little bit about the rough days because I know for me for a fact that some of the
Yeah.
rough days was accepting the fact that man, you could like that girl just used you because of everything that you had around you and not really liked you for you. So,
To be positive, I'm not gonna lie. My ex really helped me. She really and
yes, brother, like no bitterness. Yes,
she really because I learned like that if I didn't experience this breakup, I won't be the person who I am today. So it's not
right.
nothing but positive love back to her. Like she really triggered me to evolve to another high level. So I'm not the
Mm-hmm.
type of dude to like talk negative about exes, this and that. Like I really
Does
appreciate
nothing
her
for you.
because
Does nothing for you.
yeah, like I really appreciate her because she helped me and I helped her. So it's like a win-win
Mm-hmm.
at both parties. But yeah, man, like the bad days, man, I remember the bad days. The bad days are was a grind, man. Like I just didn't have no motivation. I just wanted to be scrolling on Instagram. Like I had to like reprogram like my whole algorithm
Yeah.
because my whole algorithm was straight like baddies, like women in bikinis, like women like
Yeah.
basically like wearing skin. Like that's all I was just in a lust like state of mind.
Yeah.
So those days were tough, man, because when you start, you still feeling that erection start happening, and you just start
Yeah. You're
having these
human. You're
thoughts.
human.
Yeah, and then I was like, nah, man, nah. I'm already like 10 days in. Nah, I'm gonna keep it going. Like I had to like find things to keep my mind off this. So
Right.
what helped me was like taking cold showers. Cold showers really like just calm my nervous system,
Mm-hmm.
relax my mind. Um, Eating like comfort food. So my lifestyle is plant-based. So what
Mm-hmm.
really inspired me to like take my journey to a whole nother level is eat raw food. So I did like basically like 2 months on a raw plant-based diet. That really just helped me just cleanse my spirit, cleanse my body. I really connected to myself on a whole nother level spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I would throw in like make sure you have a strong connection with food, a healthy relationship with food, because being having like a powerful connection with the food and also working out, and that combination is so divine. Like divine is a strong word, but I felt so divine. And yeah,
So
man, and
true.
start doing
So true.
uh, yeah, yeah. And then one thing I want to mention too is like you
Yeah.
have to start being on the journey really helped me do the things I really wanted to do in life. So like
Yeah.
just being like social media, like I used to always tell myself like I'm gonna be on social media, I'm gonna be on social media, but I was just talking, but I never did it. So seeing retention really helped me just build more confidence as well. So I remember during the dark times, like instead of me like looking at women like I would like try to like look at people that do podcasts or like just study like the people that are successful in like the podcast world. So just doing like research on like things that you really want to do, that's what really helped me like get out the dark days. And that's all I could think of right now. But yeah, man, the dark days really helped me a lot. And I appreciate the great days like today. Like I'm having a great day so far. So I'm really like just thankful for this time right now.
Yes, I listen. I feel like I'm in a church right now. I want to stand up, give standing, standing applause because I mean, so many people. I hit so many people with that when I tell them like there was a period where I was abstinent for that long, and it blows their mind. But the
Yeah.
clarity in which I'm thinking on now, in terms of look, all of this happened. Got my own podcast, wrote 5 books. Now got YouTube stuff coming out every day. This stuff
Oh,
doesn't happen if I am so consumed with having sex with a girl. If I'm kind of in this world where we try to paint this picture in which
Mm-hmm.
if you're not having sex with someone, okay, all of a sudden you're weird or you're a failure, you're not as cool. All of that stuff. All of that stuff, that's the direction our kids are being pointed into. The direction your kids are being pointed into is that we have to have somebody for us to be accepted, or we have to have somebody else so we are sort of validated. And we are not teaching self-validation. We're not teaching self-development. We're not teaching self-growth. We're not making that popular. All right. We're not doing that. And it's on us as leaders, on us as people who have kind of gone through some really, I guess if the world will look at it, some extreme situations to say, look, I'm better off than I was before because I'm not being anchored by a certain thing. I'm able to grow and kind of move on from that. And in my opinion, that is the direction we need to be taken because we're living in a world that's really connected. The Wi-Fi, the internet has got it to the point where anybody has access to the internet. And if you're not
Mm-hmm.
utilizing the internet in a certain way, if you're not making it so now you're using this platform that we have to build your brand and build your presence, like I was saying earlier, shame on you because we're not going to have this opportunity, 10, 15 years from now. Right now, we got to start taking advantage of it and using it the best way. So, all that being said, I want to be very respectful of your time, Alex, is, what's next for you? Where do you see yourself in the next 10, 15 years? How do you see yourself growing the brand and growing the presence and growing the things that you've already got online?
That's a very, very great question. Man, 10 years, 15 years, I see myself owning my business,
Mm-hmm.
having my own gym, traveling the world, having my own kingdom. So
Mm-hmm.
having my family, having my divine feminine, having my partner in crime,
Yes.
and continue just to better myself. So that's guaranteed gonna happen. Like I'm a very confident person. I build like the biggest cheerleader within me, man. Like I just believe
Mm-hmm.
in myself so much, and I'm just gonna make my dreams come reality, man. So that's definitely what I see myself in the next 10 years. I'm excited when that time is right.
Absolutely. And we can, and myself, along with the listeners, I'm sure can feel it on you. So is there anything you want to like promote as we're closing out now? Is there anything you want to promote? How can people get in touch with you? How can they reach out? What would be the best way for them to interact with you? You can put all your stuff out there now.
Cool. Appreciate you, man. Social media, Instagram is King Nonito. I do have my fitness page, which is Nonito Fitness. YouTube is Nonito. Um, and TikTok is Nonito Fitness. And those are like my three social medias that I be on the daily. So appreciate the
Uh,
love, everyone. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and we'll include that in the show notes as well. So, Alex, the way I close out all my shows is I need you to use your imagination. This is where things get real now. All right, well, it's been
Okay.
real the whole interview. It's been a great interview, by the way. It's
It's been
extremely soul
vibes.
cleansing for myself, especially hearing other brothers, other minorities that are just stepping up. Man, we need more of that, dog. I'm telling you.
I, I
All right.
appreciate you. I
Uh,
appreciate you.
so here's what I need you to do. I need you to use your imagination. I need you to
Hmm.
go right back to that guy that just broke up with the girl and how you felt, how pain and
Ooh.
crushing it was. Talk to that young brother. Talk to that man. You to you now, but pretend that guy
Yeah.
came in and just give him some words, man. Because I know it was crushing. It was crushing for me and crushing for
Yeah.
everyone listening that's been through a tough breakup. So we'll officially close you out with that.
That's a that's an amazing question. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, I would tell him right now, like, man, you're on the right track. You might not see it, but you're definitely on the right track, my brother. Just keep pushing and just keep fighting. Keep fighting. You have that warrior spirit. You got that Spartan energy. Just keep pushing. You're gonna get it. It's gonna happen. Just keep moving. That's it. 1 mile per hour. That's all that matters. That's what I would tell him. That's
Absolutely.
all.
Take it day by day. Take it day by day, my brother. And
Right.
anybody that's listening, that's in that situation, hearing from two people that have been through it, it's just a
Hmm.
day by day. Win the day. Don't try to win the week. Don't try to win the month. Don't try to win the decade. Just win the day. That's it. Win the day.
Win the day.
Just win the
That's
day.
it.
Win the day.
Big
That's all you
time.
got to
Big
do.
time. That's blessings, man.
All right,
Blessings.
fellow teammates, continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.
Peace.